Hi there and welcome back to another episode of Car Scoop, and today we are discussing a car that everybody kind of loves to hate, but it is off-road luxury at its best. Today we are talking about the 2021 Land Rover Defender. It is pretty straightforward and obvious that the new shape of Land Rover Defender has come leaps and bounds from its predecessors. Like I said, it's a car that people love to hate, but in my opinion, it is an extremely sexy off-road car. And for something that is 5 meters long, this is a chunky girl I can definitely get behind. A whole bunch of styling options is available should you buy a brand new Land Rover Defender. But obviously, this being a previous model and that has been spec'd by the previous owner, there are a couple of bibs and bobs from the previous Defender styling that has kind of pulled into the styling of this car and which brings homage to the new one. Like for instance, this galvanized style grip metal plating that is reminiscent from the previous models. The Land Rover Defender D300 is a car that is absolutely jam-packed full of surprises. And when I say surprises, I mean the seats in the back are one of those surprises, because this being a 7-seater, the seats at the back are nicely tucked away in the back should you not need them. But also one of the things that catches my eye is the fact that there are charging ports for everything in this car, and literally nooks and crannies. And just by looking into this part of the car, I can literally spot 3 charging ports. I mean, this thing gives you more power than to see at a power station. The interior of this car is like literally sitting in something that you are not expected to take out into the bush. I mean, the textured leather on the seats just gives it that very luxurious feeling, and I can definitely see myself taking a long trip in the back of this car. Speaking of a long trip, I mentioned earlier that there are USB charging ports everywhere. Here's another one in the back seat. Here's another one over here. There is another one over here, another one over here, and chargers for USB, for USB-C. Plus, taking a trip in the back of this car, you also have your own climate-controlled area, which makes a drive in the back of this car pretty comfortable. The interior experience of the Land Rover Defender D300 is luxury off-road ruggedness. And like I said earlier, this car pays quite a bit of homage to its predecessors with its styling. It is super well built. It is extremely clean. Everything that has been placed on the dashboard has a purpose and has a function. The gear shifter is extremely comfortably placed right here in the center, and the infotainment system is something that I have yet to experience with another car. And with a high-end LCD display as your cluster, you are literally sitting in something that can go anywhere but feels like a high-end luxury car. Seeing as the Land Rover Defender D300 is an off-road vehicle and something that you might like to take out on a holiday. Now, the back can be packed absolutely to the roof, and in some cases that is what happens. But then it becomes a safety issue because you can't see through the rear view mirror. Now, Land Rover has remedied that by putting a camera into the shark fin antenna at the back, and it's, wow, I have view of the rear now. That is so cool. I love it. Comfortability of the drive of the Land Rover Defender. I mean, it is a dream to drive. Even when we started the car, you can hardly hear that 3-liter turbo diesel engine. And handling, braking, it's like driving on a big 2.3 ton cloud. Off-roading capabilities of the Land Rover Defender is, in my opinion, legendary. And you can pretty much take this car wherever you want to go, and you don't even need to take an advanced driving course, because this car is so clever that it will be able to assist you to get pretty much anywhere you want to go. The infotainment system of this car is not your regular infotainment system, even though in previous shows we have said an infotainment system is an infotainment system. But the interface of this high definition screen makes it possible and is so user-friendly that a smartphone savvy 3-year-old can operate it. And it is extremely welcoming the way that it's being laid out. Now yes, we are opening the sunroof of this car, and the amount of light that it lets in is extremely welcome, and feels like you're sitting in some kind of luxurious sunroom in some kind of posy somewhere in Cape Town. Now this Defender has a 3-liter turbocharged engine, and yeah, for a diesel you might think it is pretty hard to move this 2.3 ton car around, but I can promise you it is anything but lazy. And should you put your foot down, you're definitely going to get yourself out of a really tight spot. Oh, and it has pull. Now one of the very interesting features that this car has is that it has the whole smart park initiative going on. I mean, you get yourself a 360 camera displayed on the central console screen, and it just makes parking this big vehicle so much easier. Because just let me remind you, this car is almost 5 meters long and 2.3 tons, which means it's a bit of a tank to get into a parking spot. So that is pretty much needed. Now there you have it, with a car that has a very love-hate relationship with the general public. I have got absolutely no scam in saying that I am a big fan of the Land Rover Defender D300. Now this 2021 model is available from the guys from Cars.com2 in Gezina, so you can definitely go pay them a visit and go have a look at this great car. Now with only 27,000 kilometers on the clock, this car is practically brand spanking new and is available for only 1.6 million, 90,000. Now, I want to say thank you very much to the guys from Cars.com2 for letting us review this wonderful vehicle. Thanks to Ventspril for the kit once again, and we will be seeing you on the next episode. Cheers.